Trump's logic on this Covid-19 virus is absolutely bizarre. Check this out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. So I mentioned that the first British patient to get the flu, his cat died during his, or not the flu. This is what Trump is calling it, the corona flu, the coronavirus, the novel coronavirus, Covid-19. I was calling it the Wuhan virus, and I kind of got slapped down for that by a scientist saying we don't want to stigmatize any region, but you know, really, if Wuhan had not had an open-air animal market, which they should have banned after SARS back in 2003, then this never would have happened, or probably wouldn't have happened. So, you know, I'm ambivalent about all that. But in any case, you know, I mentioned that this guy's cat died. And here it says Hong Kong authorities have warned people to avoid kissing their pets. This is from The Guardian today. Hong Kong authorities have warned people to avoid kissing their pets, but also not to panic and abandon them after a dog repeatedly tested weak positive for coronavirus. The Hong Kong Agriculture, Fisheries and Conservation Department said experts unanimously agreed that the results suggested the dog had, quote, a low level of infection, and it is likely to be a case of human-to-animal transmission. It was a Pomeranian owner. It was infected. The owner was infected with COVID-19. The dog was not showing symptoms, but they checked the dog. They're checking everybody in China now. And sure enough, that dog had the virus. So there we go. Speaking of science, Donald Trump, first he started approving pesticides that the entire scientific community agreed are destructive to the nervous system of young children and can cause cancer. Then he dialed back on pollution rules from fossil fuel processors in ways that will increase cancer and lung disease in the United States. In both cases, Trump was able to ignore science in changing these rules because Republicans are saying that any science that uses public health data or the names of every single person included in the study have not been published should not be used. I mean, this is bizarre and anti-scientific, but this is what the Trump administration is doing. And now it appears that they want to use the same logic with the coronavirus, which is terrifying, these anti-science policies. And here's how it works. This was on Super Tuesday, the Environmental Protection Agency did a news dump, and this is Rebecca Liebert tweeted this, an incredible news dump by EPA this evening. After delays, EPA just moved forward its most controversial proposal of the Trump administration, limiting science and medical data that can be used by the agency. This is under a policy that Scott Pruitt put into effect 2 years ago in 2018, officially called the Strengthened Transparency and Regulatory Science Guidelines. So here's how it works. We know, for example, from this nurses study of, you know, a couple 100,000 nurses over the last 40 years that smoking causes lung cancer. Well, under this new policy of the Trump administration, this Republican policy, if the name of every nurse in that study is not published, then the information from that study cannot be used to make law or policy. So basically, all epidemiological studies, all the studies that we've done, we've got a large population of people who are living downwind from one of the Koch brothers refineries, and they seem to be getting cancer. If you don't publish the names of every single person, and of course they're always anonymous, this is medical information. If you don't publish the name of every single person, you may not use that information to make law or policy. This is blowing up science. And now they want to apply this to epidemiological information that has to do with the coronavirus so that Donald Trump can continue to say, oh, it's less than 1%, it's just the flu, and just, you know, people go to work and they get better. Like he said on Sean Hannity last night, like he's lying through his teeth and denying on Twitter this morning that he didn't say it. Jeff Tiedrick tweeting back, Lordy, there's tapes. Yes, there are.